Welcome everyone to HueFin News. Today is November 8, 2018, the home of the 2-minute price prediction, as well as giving you all the news according to the charts. If this is your first time coming to this particular channel, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because what we're giving to you all is the ability to forecast price movement without any confusion. And we also look at articles to make sure that it is actually trying to tell us the truth, or at least is accurate in what it is trying to display or say. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is Canopy growth. As you guys can tell by the thumbnail, bullish on Canopy growth. I'm not saying that we are, but once we look at this article, someone who wrote this article definitely feels as if Canopy growth is bullish and is ready for a major move to the upside. And we're going to look at the price charts to determine whether or not if what he is saying or what he is writing on this article is in fact the truth. Okay, and then at the end we'll give you our prediction as to if we're expecting Canopy growth to continue to move to the upside or move to the downside, even at best consolidate. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and get right into this article. It was uploaded yesterday, November 7, 2018. Title: The worst is over for Canopy growth stock. CGC stock is finally bouncing back after a huge rout following the legal rollout of weed in Canada. It was written by LANGO, and I must tell you all that he is long in Canopy growth as when he wrote this article. Right now, we do not have any stock in Canopy growth, so we are definitely being unbiased in our predictions as to where we expecting this particular stock to move. Okay. So as we continue to scroll down, you can see here that the pot stocks or the cannabis stocks in this sector has rallied big into the catalyst of when marijuana became legal in Canada. So many people warned, including himself, Luke writes, that October 17th would become a sell the news event. So if you guys did not hear that or read that from anyone, definitely you must have missed out on that sell the news event, because starting on the 17th of October, all the pot stocks, all the cannabis stocks in that sector, including Canopy growth, suffered from a 2-week sell-off. Okay, it dropped the whole cannabis sector into bear market territory, and now over the last couple of days you can see the cannabis sector moving to higher prices. One of them, to Luke, is CGC. He states that this is a bullish sign. It appears as if the sell the news era in CGC stock is over. We'll take a look at the price chart to determine if that is actually the case. And the sentiment and the technicals imply this reversal is the real deal. So over the last 3 or 4 days, yes, these cannabis stocks have moved to the upside, but now it's quite obvious that it is coming across some resistance, and we'll talk about that once we look at the price chart. And as such, now is the time to get bullish on CGC stock again. That is what Luke is presuming. I've said it before and I'll say it again. CGC stock is second to none in terms of potential cannabis investments. If you guys didn't know, Canopy growth actually has a massive partnership or investment with a major alcoholic beverage company called Constellation Brands. They are the makers of Coronas and I think Modelo's. And Canopy also spends a lot of money on R&D, research and development. And they also have a venture arm that is trying to diversify their investor exposure into the cannabis market. They have the biggest cannabis production capacity of any publicly traded cannabis stock company, as well as the widest portfolio of brands for both recreational and medicinal purposes. So that's also a very positive thing to see in Canopy growth as to the viability and the longevity that this particular company can have in the future. So looking for exposure to the cannabis market, Luke feels that the best way to do it is through the buying of CGC stock. If you believe that Canopy growth will emerge as the leader in what will be a huge cannabis market in Canada and grow marginally in non-Canadian markets, then the current valuation on CGC stock makes sense long term. So literally up here in these last two paragraphs, I will put the link in the description so you guys can go back and read it if you're still interested in Canopy growth. It currently has a market cap of about 9 billion, and the Canadian business, the marijuana business alone, is currently worth about $8 billion today. So if you see the longevity, $9 billion market cap today is not bad, but in the short term, in this very near term, it is quite expensive for one company in the cannabis industry to be worth $9 billion, and the whole market as a whole in Canada alone is only $8 billion today. Now, if CGC is able to go ahead and branch out internationally into other markets, then definitely that market cap of $9 billion is quite small once it actually creates an investment arms, or even its manufacturing arms, distribution arms throughout the world. So that is not yet came to fruition, but definitely I'm quite sure it's something that CGC is going to try to do later on as we continue to cross these hurdles in the cannabis legalization of it across the world. Okay, so please understand that over the last couple of days, a lot of people have been getting bullish on CGC stock, and you will be able to see that once we look at the price chart. That particular stock actually moved had a huge reversal on elevated volume after testing that $33 area. So make sure you look at that price once we look at the price chart. Okay, $33 is when the volume came in for CGC stocks, and Luke thinks that the reason that occurred is around that time that Constellation Brands made the investment in CGC. It was around $33. So obviously he is expecting that's when Constellation Brands went in and bought or created some investment arms for that particular company. And as of right now, from the highs that CGC traded in October, it is 25% off the highs. So it still has room to grow according to Luke. Now, once we look at this particular chart, I want you all to pay attention to $33 and also see how high it has to go before it's able to reach previous highs that we've seen in October. Okay, so overall, this article is telling us that it is feeling very positive. It is expecting CGC stock to continue to move to the upside. As a matter of fact, from the article, you would think that Luke is trying to tell us that it has 25% at least runway to move higher in price. But once we look at the price chart, you'll definitely see a different picture. So now let's go ahead and look at the price chart to show you all what is occurring for this particular stock. And right now for the daily, the market for CGC stock went down 7.86%. And you can tell here that the last trade was around $42.45. And what I did on this particular price chart is went ahead and created an ascension line in the space for CGC stock. Now this particular stock cannot break this ascension line as it continues to play out in time. This ascension line is literally your border as to letting you know that overall the market trend is to the upside. Okay, so we can still move to the downside, but understand that we cannot break this ascension line as we continue to move lower. This is a weekly chart, and as of right now, you can still see stockpile is coming into the market, but this is what he was talking about, to where the market got some volume that allowed us to push to the upside. Now, the volume that you see here on this particular week definitely is not higher than the last 2 weeks volume. So I'm not understanding what he's talking about. We've seen some elevated volume come into the market, because actually it has been dwindling over the last 3 weeks. Let's take a look at it on the monthly chart real quick. And even on the monthly chart, yes, we are having some consolidation in the month of November, but this last month of October definitely is a huge indication that we still have some downside movement to go long term. Okay, so I definitely don't want you to think that what Luke is saying in his article is time to jump in, put all your money in CGC stock and just ride it to the upside, because I don't think it is there at that particular moment. Okay, now what I can see is more or less consolidation to continue. We did hold off that $33 area. You guys can see that that was a very hard resistance area for Canopy growth, and we did bounce off of it. So that's why I'm still expecting Canopy growth to at least consolidate, and that will be $33 as support, and the resistance area literally where it has came to the highs on this week, which is right there around $46 or $47. And now you can see that we are getting some weakness in this particular space. And literally yesterday we did break $45, right? But that was held as support previously in the background of this chart, and for us to close below it again today shows us that we got more or less consolidation to contend with in this space for Canopy growth. $45 is a huge area of resistance, and if we can't break it, then the market will not continue to move to the upside. Okay, and from all this volume that we saw yesterday in trading, for us to close below it, even towards the low of the bar, shows us that weakness is entering this particular space in Canopy growth. I am expecting more or less consolidation movement lower in the near term. Okay, but if we're able to hold support above $40 as we continue to move to the downside, then strength is still in this particular space, and we can see continued price movement to the upside. Okay, so overall the price chart is telling us that there's still a little bit consolidation weakness to contend with before that bullish move that Luke is talking about in his article is going to occur. So from the perspective of the price chart, it still needs a little bit more caution in CGC stock rather than what we read in the article that Luke wrote, talking about that the worst is over for Canopy growth. It is not over. I still see some indications that weakness is still here. So just be very careful if you're interested in CGC stock. The price chart is definitely telling us that it's not on a bullish move right now. Still seeing some indications of consolidation and movement to the downside. Okay, so tell us your opinion. Do you think that CGC growth is the best cannabis stock in the market to date? And if so, tell us with a yes. If not, give us another company that you all think is better than Canopy Growth Corporation. We would definitely like to know your insights as to the viability of any other cannabis companies that is trying to be formidable in this new industry. Tell us your thoughts. Give us your comments in the comment section of the video. And while you're at it, go ahead and like and subscribe to this particular channel. Share the video to tell everyone else how easy it is to predict price movement. And again, we do appreciate you all. Make sure you all maintain your profitability, and I will see you all later.